Cypher accredited to a lot of their success. And right now they're looking to start off this pistol round with a quick pop through the flashes. Decoys rather over and ahead, but it's Rollin to find Brolin, who is being flashed through. Alexibi's flashes doesn't keep them blind for long enough, and instead it's now the full execute to come onto the A-bomb site. The CTs will be locked behind and trying to boost over. It's Config to push Crucial's dead body off the building.
Yeah, it took a lot of damage for his fight. It's dink for dink, but that's where that USP can do so much more damage. They do have a kit, a smoke, and a couple of flashes available here for NIP, so this retake is on.
Smoke down. And they're trying to isolate out back over towards Ali, but Cypher now coming into his own. This is the man you generally expect to perform. Volt as well does get a chance to quickly tap.
With the force buy almost immediately, and this time there will be no shenanigans with decoys. Nade onto Hedrick's head, but he won't actually be full cleared for, but he loses both of his teammates in an effort to set him up. Second nade could finish him off, and it will do exactly that. First one only did 49, this one more than 50. Results have not been there for him. Nothing 1-for-1, but that bomb spotted. In the forward position of Rez, they pulled out nades. Rala wasn't expecting them to be so close. Cypher had gun ready, but he was dropped so quickly. And Rez just such a nuisance in from deep B, showing his class, showing his patience, and keeping the players on ITB uncomfortable with his position.
It is still not going to be the smoothest retake in the world, even if it's a 4-on-2. Rez and company have been pushed back already to behind the stairs all the way into the B main room. So 1-on-2s on either side that these players are trying to take. Volt will be isolating somewhat with the smoke and seeing if he can actually start to lean back over to the shelf instead. It's Crucial who needs to find the player jump. Most patient fella you've ever seen. You talked about class earlier on. This is where he should be displaying it, but unfortunately the duel goes the other way. Rollin, a veteran in his own rights, but Config is the one who will be trying to disrupt. Missed shot from Crucial. Config is traded, and it's all down to Rollin. AK recovered. Oh, the opera. Oh, he's just saving. Okay. The timing somehow working out perfectly for him. Volt has been read like a book.
And immediately repositioning as well. Cypher does have the drop on Alexi B, though. We'll have to jump up high, and wasn't ready for him to be as close as that. Thought he had a bit more wiggle room. And a 4-on-2 that NIP should be able to bring over the line. Rollin has taken his place over at Gap, but Hedrick's there to cover.
Much more difficult when people are aware and ready about plays like that.
Yeah, weary. Well, Volt's gone, and Cypher follows soon after. Brolin even just tapping away. Knew he was running low on bullets, but Alexi recovers another kill. So these rifles cannot be recovered. Config has even taken his place and will maintain safeguard. Or maybe just give one over. Okay, Alexi also dropped on a headshot angle. Rollins got an AK. Gotta rely on this B pressure. Config already naded, and Volt actually sussing out an aggressive move from Brolin, just clearing out towards the A side, but Rollin, will he expect this position? Rez has been so frequently alone on this B site, and very infrequently up close like this, but the shadow, the barrel is well spotted. Config sussed out, so now closest call to action is Hedrick, but that bomb can go down.
From a 2 versus 4 to 2 versus 2, Alexi B on the flank to try coming in from stairs. That's what Rollin is defending. He's got HP aplenty. I think Alexi might have also just given up the game here, and now Rollin is circling around.
Been able to overtake Mighty Max an accomplishment, so.
Rollin. Wide strafe outwards versus free. Is there more to be delivered? Well, yes, there is. Brolin wants to keep it going.
He had backup, but none of them even swung. None of them even fought with him. Brolin was just taking all those duels by himself. And here's Rez again. Same angle. And he doesn't go cleared, but they don't have a Molotov or HEs. So it's actually very difficult for them to flush him out.
Rollin is gone. He was low earlier on as well. Hedrick and Alexi B, though, more than enough to try and make up for his lack. Config has died elsewhere on the map, and that's where Rez's flank is going to be looking to activate. Remember, Volt has actually slowed down with a bomb. He's worried about that very flank to come through, even if Rez hasn't really put it to use just yet, but with Crucial being spotted out, Rez should be the one to find the kill, and the bomb's been dropped with it. Rallen in response comes in with a... Now where ITB's money could have been reset, Nape's the one who ended up having that same fate applied to them. They've actually bought in quite heavily with Brolin. So if they don't save that M4, this is going to be a rough time.
Very loud about his rotate back, but Alexi's not covered for this kind of a push, so Thomas has him right between his sights. He's gonna find Head Trick, and that's a free kill. Hell, an upgrade to an AWP, thank you very much.
Don't mind if I do. Alexi B, however, will only be good for one. Now remember, the bomb is separated away. Cypher could fall. Alexi's got time to reload and reset, but not using it instead. Crucial's missed his shot, and it's Thomas who's all... Have you heard of the legendary self-bamboozle, Michael?
No.
Well, Nip almost did it. Deciding against rolling back over towards A. Cypher will fall. Rez is traded. Alexi B's here to drop the bomb as well as crossover. Still alive. Only player on the bomb side, and he knows that there's a man coming in from behind as well. Volt should be covered off by Head Trick. Head Trick needs to get there fast, but now Sound Cue's been given over again. Shots are being missed by Oppas. They simply cannot afford to. Rallen, however, he's got a Glock. He knows the Oppa isn't working out.
And now we'll have to see what their defense is made of. This is also a map where NIP have struggled in very late round situations. They sometimes chew too much time off the clock, but this pistol will not be an instance like it. Immediately a smoke down, they try to get that plant, but Rez is caught before he can dial those digits.
Cypher trying to accelerate past because he thought the bomb was being planted. Config had already stolen it away. Crucial, though. Thomas as well. What's going on here? Head Trick somehow defends. Thomas couldn't find the frag. Config as well, and the chaos is collected on another. Head Trick seems to be their saving grace. It should still be a relatively safe bomb plant. Remember, they don't have a second smoke, so for them to actually creep over won't be the easiest thing. The boost up for Rallen as well. No one actually giving him a chance to win out a duel or two. Secondary flashbang, and they will not peek. Brolin
I mean, very close. 4 HP surviving on Cypher, and he definitely did not shoot first, but Rez flubbing the line. That extra rifle could pay off in dividends. Look at the aggression from these pistols. They're trying to overwhelm Brolin, but he is all too aware.
Oh, actually, they're going to be caught in between a couple of angles. Cypher and Thomas are both able to activate, and the bomb has been dropped. Brolin needs to find the duel. Crucial's there to recover, though, and even picks up the Khalil. So now both players remaining do have rifles apiece. And Head Trick's only got the AWP, a single miss shot, just the one, and it's gone. It's over. Crucial as well has been good about not overextending. He's trying to maintain the vertical position, but the no-scope from Head Trick will connect. He's won out quite a few disadvantaged positions, but now...
A bit of a 50-50 about whether these angles are even cleared fully. And have the presence of mind. Crucial on short and just ready for anyone to make their progress up. Config is around the corner and jiggling every angle possible, but backpack spotted. Crucial, Molotov deployed, so Config's cut off.
Thomas, great angle between the smoke, and it's all the damage dealt to Alexi B coming back to haunt him now. Config and Head Trick as solitary as you... Config. Okay. Thought he might have a small chance, but no, not quite. Oh. Very important missed shots coming out from Crucial. Volt now is all alone to try and defend, and Alexi B is also actually able to pick up another one. It's a 3-on-3, and with Head Trick being as low as he is, it shouldn't matter all that much, but more than anything else, the concern should be about the economy. This very important part of the offense from into the reach on T side. Now CT side has had him maybe a little bit less significant. Not quite the same way. Crucial is only good for one, and the aggressive angle guarantees that he can't retreat either. This is where Thomas will be asked to do a lot. It's a 1-on-2 effectively for him, and as he crouches away, Alexi's lost the trigger point. And this is actually suddenly now doable for Cypher. Now the flank is going to be incredibly late, and by the time he actually gets in position, they should have checked it. Rez is definitely going to go back for that one here now, but Rez actually goes for a shallow clear instead. He might not be expecting it, and Cypher's got the bomb. Rather, Cypher's got the frag, and now the bomb's going to be planted while...
Make the same mistake again, especially encouraged by the fact they don't have the best guns.
ITV, however, have not been looking to reveal that fact at all. Pure silence. Cypher as well. Not actually playing back towards the bomb site. He's playing in middle. Good for the first. And as he fades away, it's Alexi to find the refrag. Now, Alexi's got no idea that there's no one else in the B bomb site. Thomas is going to be the one to fall, but the aggression actually pays off regardless. It's back to a 3-on-2. HP's not in the best of places, but Rollin can pick up the AK, and this is where...
They've got the
There
bomb.
is no bomb either for Nip,
Yeah.
and that bomb's been discovered.
Oh, Vault will even reveal the fact that they know this bomb is dropped outside of ladder, so Rez has to pick apart more defenders and distract. He's found Rollin, and that will at least make it easier for them to come back into this bomb. But 35 seconds, and Rez has to be very quick about how he relocates. Another smoke, so Alexi B's completely cut off.
It's all down to Rez or a blind push through the smoke from Alexi, and that's just simply not something I can imagine him going for. 20 seconds as well, so remember, you also need to have the time to actually get the bomb to the site itself. Crucial. Might just need one kill and one kill alone, but he's actually going to be moving
What?
back. Alexi will not be discovered. Alexi gets it for free. Crucial, however, still buys the time. They cannot plant the bomb, and as they're going for a hunt, Volt has dosed him out as well, but how long can it be? And his Swedish liege, Cypher. Good for another. Rollin will not be getting involved. Not for a while. Cypher's the one to be continuing the aggression and taking point. A flashbang goes deep. It's a 2-on-2. Head trick will be all too important, though. As they start to try and move forward, the smoke will be dissipating soon. Cypher moves into head trick, but unfortunately doesn't quite have the jump on him. Rollin also. Kevlar to go around. Crucial. Maybe all the more potent, but Rollin coming in from behind and trying to distract. Head trick will actually have his teammates walking right into the 5-7. The bomb has been dropped once again. Rez, very low, thinks he needs to go back and find the frag, but he's so weak that it feels like even that frag might be completely impossible. Crucial, elbow spotted out, jiggles back in. Head trick as well found, and into the breach are once again going to deliver.
Absolutely.
Rollin, meanwhile, he's about to be given a gift.
What on earth?
That gift is going to be a whole lot of freebies coming his way. But now they've turned around. Rollin might have given up a big old chance, but regardless, gets a double, and that should be all they really need. It is now a 4-on-2. Both players remaining do have rifles. 35 seconds. CTs have got the accurate rotations over. Config on the move through will continue his streak of bad form as he cannot find the frag to save his life, and Nip indeed cannot save their lives on Vertigo. It is. And speaking of Crucial, another player who put up a mid-lane performance, not quite the same heights as we saw him reach at the Major, though I do think that that would be hard to replicate regardless. Rollin, the man on your screen, was absolutely dominant on Vertigo. Fast play in towards the B bomb site through short is the name of the game, and Brolin is dead, and so is Rez. Volt is getting involved. Rollin as well has been given a chance to rotate over in time to get a bit of action in, so it is still a 3-on-3 despite a comfortable kill on the Crucial earlier on.
Ooh, very dangerous there from Rollin as well. Tried to jump himself out a window, but it was being covered by a couple of NIP players, so brought to low HP. They don't have a kit on any of these players, respectively, as well, so this is very dangerous for them as this time dwindles.
Config just trying to bait them out and keep an eye out for information in case they've started to push through doors, and indeed that's exactly what's coming his way. Thomas is gone, Cypher will trade, and Cypher wants to keep it going. Alexi, however, has dodged out the bullets, and Rollin and Cypher will have to get aggressive soon because the time is ticking down a bit too low. Head trick to take the duel initially. Alexi B is just hidden away. He knows it's all about playing the late game, and the late...
Config, who had been there to secure topside middle. Set up perfectly for an A-side split.
Yeah, it's a full 5-on-5 as well, so the CTs are very much ready. 5-7s need to start coming into play. Cypher's Deagle is the first to strike. Thomas next in line. And it's Rez who needs to be careful because the MP9 and his mobility up the ladders could have been a problem. Instead, it's Crucial who's the problem. Coming in from behind, pushing upstairs, recovering the AK.
Had to go back and check. 28 kills is what he finished with.
Yes. Roland's down in the meanwhile, and this is where it's time to farm up the stats. At the same time, trying to make sure that you don't lose too many players. Cypher, the only casualty thus far, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up facing a few more with the way things are going. Roland brought down low and forced away. It is still going to be a relatively safe round. Rez has recovered an M4, but that is the only legitimate threat that should exist.
Yeah, the bomb's dropped top middle, so has to be recovered at some point or another. Roland's maintaining vision on that area of the map. You can see that bomb from the window. Oh my days. How quickly it's all crumbled. They distracted long enough for Rez to get his 2 kills with that M4 and Volt.
Very fast up connected though. That's Alexi B. Roland will be trying to get away and actually manages it somehow, does not fall.
Might have evaded being a casualty, but Volt will not. Even Roland being tracked down. Crucial's inside the smoke inside a jungle and actually gets caught out from it. No, sorry, bottom middle is where he was trying to be tricky. All of a sudden, Thomas is left alone.
Coming out over there, yeah. Alexi B just managing to clutch it all together despite not finding the kill in through connector.
He just didn't stop. Unrelenting.
That is one of the big...
Yeah, up to 130 euros on a welcome deposit bonus. That's a welcome sign here for the ITB side. Only one rifle brought forward into this round. They did buy up, given their economy was in a weird spot, but Volt's one rifle getting that kill does make it a little bit more trying now for NIP on this mid control. Rez was even tagged up trying to venture into the B-bomb site, so it's not healthy signs. Surely you don't lose another round like this.
You'd hope so, at the very least, not this close to it. The problem is with this 5-man crunch that's just getting ready to squeeze down. Volt will come through with another double. 3 in total. This is already a disaster. And I don't think NIP have got the ability to manage it at all.
More rifles and an AWP in Cypher's hands as well. That is the worst case scenario. Everything they need. The flash even dodged, but Volt, it's only damage. Brolin able to come ahead out in the duel, but they've still got control of the bomb.
And look, they might not have armor on any one of these players, but I don't think it'll matter all too much. Brolin and Rez are incredibly low. You've got Cypher and an op. And on top of it all, Roland is coming in from behind towards A. And Cypher looks away! And now it's all open. They need to go over towards the B-bomb set as well. The question is, does Roland play it patiently and actually just try and prevent the crossover? That's what he needs to do at this stage. Rez will be caught out with a knife in his hand. And now as Roland looks to turn away, he knows where Brolin was initially. Brolin cannot...
Far more aggressive in middle, swinging off with short and doing so double, but they were heard. There were players in the underpass, and Crucial has been sussed out, just jumping over out into the open. The flashes don't do a whole lot of anything, but Volt does get overwhelmed. So what started off as a one-man advantage is now made still one, but does stretch out the defenses here of ITB. And inside the smoke, oh, Roland doesn't look like he's ready for this.
Roland is just fighting away, though. Doesn't want to contend with Rez at all in the position.
Gotta be suspicious of it now.
Defending the B-bomb site's going to be so difficult if Roland doesn't get the skill immediately, though. And it's Cypher actually instead to find the frag, and that means Roland can also start to rotate away. Grenade is going to be good. Roland will be held off by a grenade, and the shot behind it, head trick, wasn't...
Crucial even chased after him, but Berlin just vacated so quick.
Volt is going to be the player this time left for some sort of heroics through short. I like the fact that into the breach and their anchors are actually pushing forward into short, even in the mid round, but can Volt find anything? Rollins already gone down. Alexi B, the amount of damage he's finding through connector is insane. Now the Molotov as well to finish off Cypher. Crucial's the only one left alive, and honestly, Alexi's been such a crucial part of their offense and just isolating that connector player.
Yeah, been very aggressive, and I feel like it's not really his typical play style, but given that they've met some difficulties, hasn't been that in this series.
Oh no, Cypher's going to be caught out of a hair. Roland, though, is there to cover him off. Actually spams inside, expecting Alexi B to be nearby, who's been such a nightmare. Even gets Cypher another kill, who goes aggressively. Config taking the duel with Roland inside the flames. Feels like that might have actually been what gives it up and over. Brolin, again, looking to get the better of Volt potentially, but Volt's gone back down to the underpass and over to middle he will go. Crucial, concerned about a push through to the window and to be from beyond. But Volt having abandoned his post means that this is going to be a very vacant B bomb site. Now, I don't... surely the reload sound isn't audible all that way away.
Yeah, it's too far away. But I think Volt has come to the realization that it actually could be a B-side finish, and he is going to reflank through the underpass. This will be at a very fast timing, one that Nip might not anticipate.
He's being slow about it, though, and both players will have to drop down. Remember, Brolin is the one with the bomb. Volt is
they don't know.
Again. And now that the smoke's finally been used, he will be able to start to make a play. Crucial's going for the short jump over and will be able to find it successfully. A flashbang that's failed. Brolin's going to be regretting that one. But a second will be able to actually give him information. Brolin's position was given up earlier on. Regardless, Volt needs to start to aggress soon. Otherwise, Brolin's going to get a freebie. Brolin now finds him and the drop down. Crucial. All alone. A 1-on-2. Going to be spotted out by Config soon as well. The gap. And the gap that he realizes he can just spam through it and trace him down. Still, a player in window and one in ladder room is not an easy route to get past, especially when Cypher finds another frag. Config and will have to be so diligent in clearing this, but he's looking for the vertical angle and is back to an advantage at 3-on-2 once again. Cypher out in the open. If he'd had an AK, that was a very dead res. Instead, a longer lease on life given up, and Volt will be trying to move through. The AK now recovered. Thomas has got one of his own as well. They're doubling up and trying to accelerate when they are together. Before that, completely static from Volt. 2 flashes available for Thomas. Will he be looking to use them, or do they rely on the element of surprise? Brolin's the only one with really any HP to work off of a overhead flash to try and go in with. Rez has been lined up for the quick kill onto Volt, and Thomas all alone. A 1-on-2 bomb planted for both of the remaining NIP players, and the 9th round has been guaranteed.
So well done in that 2v2. Brolin being the first to face, given that he was high HP, and then just taking control of the bomb site as they were making their way up short. It just made it so that Rez could suddenly just be so much more of an activatable piece in that 2v2 instead of trying to play 2 1v2s effectively to stop them getting up short.
Into the breach, think this is going to be a little bit of a fake potentially, because there's slightly staggered peaks to come through. Rather, NIP. God, I'm messing up the 3-letter names, Michael. Brolin. Traded out soon after. Config is the one who's actually coming in, but Headtrick's being isolated. Not before he gets a kill, though. Rez as well. Long range from Market. Will respond.
1v3 for Thomas. And there is no kit available here for NIP.
So, let's see which Nip turns up, is the big question.
Yeah.
Rez, certainly inclining over to the end side of things, but Cypher and Volt have both actually struck true and bring it back to a 4v2. The bomb's been dropped, and Headtrick is the man to do it all on his own. It's actually Crucial as well, caught between too many players. Alexi found out, but Headtrick's taken the time to do some finding out of his own. Both players full HP, M4 in the hands of either. Crucial. By the time he comes into play, Config should just be able to shut him down. The problem, though, is for NIP, they are leaning over to the B bomb site, and in doing so, Config has given up the position. Crucial's got a window of opportunity to start moving through connector here and now if he wants to do so. 20 seconds, and the trigger needs to be pulled. There's no smoke, so Headtrick should be all the more potent. Do they have a trend?
And they're not counting their chickens before they hatch. They're not overstaying their welcome.
Config. Man, just always a reminder that Config secondary back in those Dignitas/North days was such a menace to be dealt with as well. It was Cajun B and Config to put up that double op at times.
It's equal numbers, and they've crept out towards Tetris. Nobody's spotted for this. Alexi B only holding for Palace, but now the Molotov will give up the game. The Molly, Brolan will not be funneled back by any of that util, so his Nook and that small cranny is all he needs. The tags through the wall will not convert, but Alexi finally dealt with 2-on-3, and no real time to fumble around here. They have to try and get that planted, but Config missed the shot, but they're remaining proactive. You know, they're still holding on to territories of the map that ITB are still contesting.
Goodbye, Cypher. Been nice knowing you. Config, no! He's missed it! Gets the headshot, but it's just not enough. Rez now has to be oh so careful. There are so many places where Cypher could be, especially with that smoke being rejuvenated. Config's gonna be kicking himself. As well, still managing to keep himself alive. Rez will get the kill, but now two players have been revealed. Brolin has moved past as well, gets another one for free. Brolin is down, and Alexi, position revealed. They know he's not an issue. Rollin.
Size. Must be.
Ooh. Quite aggression from Hedrick this time out. Getting a little bit more involved early. Most of his highlights so far have been coming out in late round circumstances. Now, they want to change it up.
Regressing. Oh, smoke was down, and Hedrick was still hovering that smoke just before it bloomed to make sure that nobody tried to take that fight. Free.
Ah, that's such a good peek coming out from Hedrick.
I think also just poor recognition there from Crucial to realize that Hedrick had to escape at some point or another. It could have just maintained his position inside of middle, but yeah, that angle is always going to favor the CT side. So much further away from it, limited field of view as a T side player. So really only there and designed for a jungle fight. Hedrick is just controlling the entire round. He has been everywhere that ITB have been as well, and while Config does find one and Hedrick's reign of terror is finally put to rest, the damage is done. A 13th is all but secured here for NIP, all off the young AWPer.
This is the kind of round that reminds you of the fact that Hedrick has been coming closer and closer towards realizing that potential. Nice nade. Nice frag. One more would go quite a long way. Especially with the flank coming in from behind him. But with 10 seconds left at this point, Thomas would really...
Indeed towards top middle. That's usually an indicator that there is going to be some sort of forward presence. And that may accelerate the schedule here for Into the Breach to perform this execute. You see them grouped up over that A site. And they're going to try and put Rez under some pressure alongside Brolan.
Completely flashed out, Rez. Oh, Cypher's not even looking towards him at all. He's so reliant on the flashbangs actually working out. Okay, I get it. Brolan's the MVP. Well. Actually, starting off very strong. Two great entries found through Thomas and Volt. And Volt's actually gone for more. Now, Nep do have money to buy up in the next few rounds as well, right? The cushion is more than enough, but question remains, how much do you want to let ITB push you?
Yeah, and how replicatable is this? You know, we see some nice opening kills, sure, but it feels like it just simply cascades on top of NIP before they can get a handle on what's going on. ITB are just continually taking space, finding kill after kill, and every time they looked one direction, they had to suddenly be concerned about another as well. Rez has secured some safety in his exit, but he's now, I think, a little too close to this bomb for him to feel safe in spawn, and so has to try and make his way out. Will succeed in doing exactly that.
Another opportunity where it will be difficult to actually make their way onto it. Brolan, playing up close to the Palace, has a straight 1v1 that Volt is unlikely to be ready for. As the peek will start to come through, Brolan will aggress. Volt will find him. Brolan, though, has got backup. Headtrick to find Cypher. In the meanwhile, he is smoked off. The grenade will do very little. And in the meanwhile, the utility for the T's has run dry. They're using this time to plant the bomb in, but the retake will be on very soon. Config drops down from Ticket Blue, doesn't get much information for his troubles either. Rez coming through in from Connector, while Alexi is very concerned about the fact that there could be someone in the apartments. Remember, this is a double-op retake, not the easiest thing in the world to try and commit to. And as the peek from Thomas comes through, guarantees another frag. Headtrick will once again be on the refrag as well. Rollin out wide in the open will be discovered by Alexei, Volt and Crucial, the only ones left alive. Crucial to try and swing out from the back lines. The bomb is not planted in for him. Volt will have to swing out wide, and he's not going to find the diffuser. Nip, take it home. Courtesy of where the...
On IP, I think there was a period where ITV were certainly the favored, even though they had the one map lead in the series. Now it's equal, and IP seem to have the edge. He's going to our partners at 1xBet. Volt instigating action and finding 2 instantly, but Brolin there to try and plug the gap. Crucial does lose on a lot of HP, but Cypher's... Oh, full disrespect to the smoke inside of the apartments. They just trail straight through, and they're setting up for the pop flash.
This is going to be the nice on the core of the problem. There's still 4 players on the other side. Alexi B, the first one to break blood, and 3 now near the bomb site itself. Alexi...
Area of itself, but they'll soon realize that it is just open for business.
Our rotations are coming through, but yeah, should not be too much of an issue. Brolin spotted out as well with the Galil.
Volt's got his own CT.
A couple of freebies can be picked up regardless. Why stop?
Almost a little surprised that NIP didn't rotate as heavily as I thought they would, given that the stack broke down, there was presence on B, and, you know, at some point or other you just have to pull the pin. Roland went over there with his Galil and didn't get anything from his efforts. The pistols are finding kills.
He might even be able to actually try and make a move for another frag with a Mac 10. If he finds it, that's a lot of money to take forward. That actually tees him up nicely for the op as well. $2,900 on top of the 3K that he would have at that point. That quick 10 Roland is gone. A big player for Nip, even at the worst of times.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's not right.
Rez threw the smoke and it dissipated only part of the Molotov. Headtrick was still inside the other side.
Rez tried to make it a one-way, and although he does end up finding a kill somewhere in the middle of it all, it is still a 4 versus 2, and refresh on the smoke means that it will be safe passage overhead.
This A side, they threw some utility over at B earlier, but making that rotate round, Alexi is joined into the arches.
Oh no. Rez just gets one for free. Crucial's not quite there with the trigger, and this could be it. This could be everything turning around on their heads, as they do have some control over towards Banana. It'll still be interrupted by Brolin inside the smoke. Volt finds one, and a smoke in middle actually gives him cover to back off. The flashbang through is not accompanied by a push. Instead, it's Headtrick. What? Rez, just on the spam, will collect. And what goes around comes around. Crucial's magical kill has now been paid twice over. Perhaps Alexi finds yet more frags, and Cypher will at the very least make it expensive with 30 seconds. Maybe there's even time for the bomb plant, but not at all. Rez and... Thomas? Thomas? Alright, Tommy boy. That's another freebie.
Yeah. Not really sure what Broland's plan was there. And Alexi just dry peeking into the AWP. Maybe they weren't expecting that this weapon would be pulled out from ITV, but given that they won 4 straight, there should have been some anticipation. A 5-on-3 right off the jump. But Rollin has been found, at the very least, trying to creep out of the apartments over on the A side. Thomas is getting a lot of ground on B.
They're not using their util. They're being so greedy about trying to save information. Thomas will get one more kill for free, but Rez not expected on the back of the bomb site. Now, his position given up, but he's getting aggressive. And the greed of Into the Breach comes back to bite them.
Rez knows what he has. That's the bomb dropped and exposed, and he spotted out Volt. Knows he has to be coming in from this angle. Molotov in, and it will force the issue. Config low HP, and so taking that fight head on would have been a death sentence. One more bullet will do him in. He has to outposition him, outbrain him, play with so much patience that he outdoes Volt.
Nade is chunking him down and forcing him away. Nice little play to come through as they will be wrapping in and around that A-bomb site. In the meanwhile, Rollins taking his space over in apartments. Config from Minipit will be his primary target, but can Rollins find anyone else before it? Yes, he can. Volt, the one to take down Config, and Headtrick's demise was guaranteed from apartments as Alexi trying to back off and reload. Cypher will be there to cover off his body, and
Where they started as soon as they jump back into their home setups.
oh,
But
yay!
they haven't skipped a beat.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Michael, but I just feel heartbroken for Banana and anyone from the CTs who want to be there. Sure, there's a return few frags, but it's just...
Oh my.
That's a deal that goes their way more often than not. Cypher brings it back to a 3-on-2. Cypher wants to go for a bit more with the flashbang going deep. Rez will avoid it. Uses the plywood nicely. So the aggression in the end does pay off, but it didn't look like it would.
Yeah, Brolin can't get anything to go for him either, so... Had the same issues that Headtrick did. Not anticipating that.
Lexi's turned away as he's trying to line up the pre-fire. Headtrick giving up a kill for free though.
Ooh, Rez overextending over towards bottom banana. Could have simply tucked and tried to play that position for the late round, and that's going to allow an ITB to reinvestigate that area. Brolin does try and take up the mantle, though. He will be the only line of defense to prevent them from going into the B site. And Brolin has had some struggles in performing this side of the map, especially in early stages. Now it's all ITB members grouping up to swarm him. Cypher, first clear, but they line up. The headshots come in lightning fast. Brolin finally dealt with. So it's a 2-on-3 where the ITB have access to the site.
Flashbang coming out for Alexi, but Rollin in the meanwhile is inside the smoke. He knows there's going to be a reload coming out soon. Alexi, however, has been covered off by Headtrick again. The bait and switch setup between Alexi and Headtrick working out wonders in this round. Crucial. With no HP to work with, this double swing is likely going to be his demise in the Molotov. It might just catch him off as well. Covered off from the back lines. Alexi knows that Crucial
Could have very well just sent Cypher to do exactly the same job. Would have maybe made more sense to a certain degree, but...
You can also just boost up on top of the cart to see, so... Lots of util, but a missed shot from Headtrick, and now they're trying to move in through the smokes back to CT. Cypher will be able to beat the timing for Brolin's rotation, but... In fact, he's going to go all the way in from behind. Now they have to try and wait for Cypher to activate. Volt's been locked in and he knows it, but Headtrick is gone now. Still a player on the bomb site. It's Rez. Spotted out. Cypher, however, will still be the main man. And he is shooting it down. Rez, good on the defense. On the offense, I doubt it's going to be the same efforts or really the same chances. 1-on-2 retake. Crucial is isolated, so if Rez can hit a big shot, this could...
Come on, Volt, what are you made of? 15 seconds, you gotta get a move on. And Alexi, like you said, impeccably positioned, still inside of Boiler, and Volt does clear for it, so that was the first hurdle already dealt with. Bomb can go down. 2 players still yet to find, and Headtrick's actually closing the gap. He switched out to the AK to try and close that gap, but Volt's vacated. He's trying to play his position, trying to play time as best he can, and even going the long way round. If they simply stick it, they will win from here on out, but how do they make that call? How do they know for certain Volt is playing this masterfully? Rez is out in the open, and they have no idea, but they have to be suspicious sooner rather than later. Inside of the apartments, Rez on the defuse, but can Volt line up the shot? No! Not enough time to jump round and get the angle on Rez. Had he simply spammed, he might have connected, but how is he to know? NIP 5, but it is so damn close.
He makes 2.
They've got 3 starting.
Well, that's probably not what he wanted to do. Now Rollin knows. Rollin knows all. Config. Will be able to find one. He's aware of the possibility of another player, perhaps. No, Rollin's going to go through and get the knife as well, but he needs to go for the left, right. Can't get the backstab, and that is what makes him lose out on the frag. That's not ideal.
For a little bit of a comeback. Pistol round. conversion should be quick to follow. They did not invest in a full force buy here on ITB. Didn't feel like Inferno was as conducive to it. Even though they've been force buying all series long.
And winning very often.
Yeah.
At least a kill or two is what they will be able to get.
Well, they know it's B for certain. They drop the bomb as the first man in.
Alexi, Flut's crucial as well, and at this point, if there's 4, you know they should probably beat.
They have their confidence knocked down a peg. Rez already taking the fight. Looking for at least one of these kills, but Thomas actually finds it first. They do lose Cypher over at B all the meanwhile, and they're still really concerned about maintaining control over the brackets. Crucial 1-for-1 again, but Rowland came straight through that smoke, and there's more where that came from. Then Thomas was nearby, but they're lining up Util. Headtrick caught with a nade out, and it's suddenly only Brolan that remains. Volt does have enough HP to try and take this fight head on, but Thomas is trying to be elusive.
I like this positioning from Thomas to come through, actually. This is massive. He's just looking to stop them from moving forward, and inside the smoke, it's Volt to fake.
Rollins in trouble here if he takes this fight. Oh my goodness.
What?
A dink straight through smoke, but it was reciprocated.
Rollins dropped down. Position now given up. Alexi not quite close enough to the rest of his teammates. Roland good for 1, Roland good for 2. The third will trade. Finally, Hetrick able to come into play, and the bomb plant is guaranteed. A flash and a smoke is all they've got left, and no one actually coming in through mid. So as Moto gets smoked off, that actually gives them an opportunity to buy some more space and re-navigate in through arches to short. That will be Volt to try and make his way forward. Re-smoke back in Moto. If Volt cannot smoke out pit, this could be a problem if he doesn't use this in time. Brolan is going to be out in the open. Volt expects him right on top of that graveyard. Config and Headtrick left to try and...
Gonna be found as well, but they never found these extra players on short, but they will make their presence known during util.
Thomas is the big one being set up for. He does have a bit of a one-way as well from up on top of the smoke. Config is gone through it. There is still an opportunity to be found, but a headshot will not be enough. Last 2 players are too far away, and with Crucial having fallen after getting the first kill of the M4, there just wasn't the firepower to provide the resistance.
Yeah, Cypher's got his hands back on that M4. There's still honestly a feasible way that they could re-entry back onto the site. Again, it feels like they don't have the resources to make this work. But I think they know that both those players were dinked on short, that these players should be low HP, so they're actually setting up a containment area so that if they try and go and save, pit won't be safe enough.
Containment area is going to be very important as well, because NIP's money is going to be put to the limit, and as long as you're taking these 2 M4s forward, if you do actually find even one more kill, which they will not be doing so,
that makes these players that were committed to the arches in somewhat of an awkward spot, but that kill into Alexi does give them more leeway.
Flashbang as well, as Holmes is just trying to get aggressive early on to make sure there's no one inside graveyard. Crucial found another in the meanwhile, so Nip cannot defend this post plant without having some sort of monstrous performance from the individuals. Hetrick and Rez generally are good for the late rounds, but with this much utility still left, the Molotov as well, I'm not quite sure whether that's for a site or not, but Rez is the only one now left. He's not got much HP either. They do have a kit, and now they're trying to stick... You remember what you said about the downward spiral, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
I think this buy contributes to that more than anything else. Gives him a chance at the very least, but Rollin has been abused in this exact position so many times over. I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't opted to change it. Rez!
From ITB, which means that Cypher's role is that much more difficult. He has Molotovs, though. They've been dropped in his feet. First kills there, and a smoke as well at the entrance to B, but the smoke just across into the bomb site is awful. Alexi dropped, and Config at least there to trade, but they know that Cypher is still alive and still around. Volt wasn't the one that was actually dealing all the issues. 4 on 3, bomb going down, and NIP have to maintain their numbers, but that bomb just barely gets planted while Cypher escapes with the kill.
Well, Could this be another opportunity for them to bring together a big 2-on-4? Rez and Headtrick, same members to do
dear,
it
this
before,
flank.
and Rez is coming in on
What?
the flank. Even knows about the flank on the flank, but Rollin has found the frag. Headtrick is all alone.
But they're pulling an extra man over on ITB. Rowland spotted, headshot immediately delivered, but because the wall was in the way, 6 HP, or rather 3 HP is what he'll get away with. Alexi through the smoke, but Volt has him dead to rights. Didn't expect that he was there at the Arches, given that he got by scot-free the first time over, and Volt's even found another.
Rollin has been in this exact position so many times. This has been one of the big difference makers as to why Into the Breach are losing these rounds, because when they're hitting the A-bomb site, Rollin seems to be just a freebie. He's 7 and 16 right now as the A-side anchor, one of the most important positions in the game. Rez is about to walk into his crosshair. Rollin will find another.
They're assembling the boost, and NIP are already at the mouth of B.
Also very early last smoke, and they're pushing in through it. Cypher and Volt, well, really just Cypher, will pick up some stats.
It felt like Volt helped.
I mean, sure.
Not for lack of trying.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of pulled his way up the scoreboard. You know, aside from Rez and Headtrick, we don't have these big moments being delivered by many of the other NIP players.
2 smokes, a Molotov, and a grenade available over here. And they need to start deploying them soon. Crucial gets the quick kill. The grenade's going to be following forward as well. Look at the damage that's dealt to Config. He's just not in a healthy position at all. No util for Nip to try and help themselves out with either. Crucial's missed a chance. Cypher will recover, and Config trades. And it's Cypher to be the second to fall to the hands of the big con. Rollin will lead the charge now on the retake into the breach. We're not quite able to deny the bomb from coming through, but Config's immediate casualty makes it so much easier. They just have to circle around, but Headtrix brought it all back. It's a one-on-one. Volt has got the kid as well. Volt located. Almost has switched up positions with Rollin as well. He's recognized the fact that Rollin was being somewhat abused over here. Maybe a change in styles is what could assist. I don't know if Rez's position was given away because he picked up the AK, but I imagine it was.
You know what's coming. Crucial won't miss. 1 for 1 after he falls. Oh, this could be good timing. They're setting up for a flash. And Brolin caught out. Alexi right behind him, but they're out of the apartments. Thomas stuck in at shelter. The first kill's there, and Thomas doubling up. It's only Rez that remains, and he